Hi everybody, this is the instructional video for your blind contour portrait. You can work with a photograph of yourself or someone else, or with a model, or look at yourself in the mirror. And these were some drawings that I did. Worked with this photograph here that I took with my Nikon camera equipment, and you can see that it's totally blind. I didn't look at my paper at all when I was drawing that. It looks very cubistic and expressionistic. This actually reminds me of a painting or a drawing, and I can't remember which one now, but hopefully I'll remember by the time I post all of this in the module, and then I can make a comparison with the still photograph of this. So when you're doing this drawing, you're only looking at your photograph or your model. You're not looking at your paper at all, so that's why it's called a blind contour. It's also called a blind continuous contour because you're not going to lift your pen or your pencil from the paper. You can do this in pen. That one I just did with a regular ballpoint pen. I'm going to do this demonstration with a felt tip marker. So you can work with some type of marker or any type of ink pen or pencil, whichever you prefer. I kind of prefer the pen now, I think, versus pencil, different types of pens, because they tend to flow more easily. It's just easier to keep it in one continuous line for me. Okay, so that was the first line one I did, and then you're going to do also, like you did with the plant, you're going to do a couple more. One is going to be, this one kind of started out as a blind contour and then it turned into more of a modified contour where I was looking partially at the paper, working with the same photograph. And then the last one, you're going to do more of a gestural drawing, and it's a modified continuous contour. So you're going to try not to lift up your pen. And this one, believe it or not, I don't think I lifted my pen, maybe once by accident. And I did another video where I was lifting my pen a lot when I did it, but it had a really nice drawing, so I'm not sure which video I'm going to use yet. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate this. What you want to do is either tape down your drawing paper, tape, or you can use your, if you've got the bulldog clips, you can use that. And then you put your photo or whatever. If you're looking at your model, it's easy. It's a little harder if you're looking at a photograph. I like to work with a nice big piece of paper because, oh, I forgot to show you the other one that I just did. Let me just do that first. Okay, this was the other blind contour that I did. And this was the modified contour working with the ballpoint pen. I'm just redoing this now because I wasn't sure if the angle was very good for it to be seen. See the drawing, it was hard to see the blind contour. So you're going to tape down your paper, tape your photo onto your paper. Now for these especially, I like to work with a nice big piece of paper because then you have space to work with, especially if you're doing it blind. Okay, hopefully it didn't jack up the time. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm right-handed, and I'm going to work with my right eye closed to make it easier not to look at the page. I'm just going to tilt my head a little bit and I'm going to look at the photograph. I'm going to start with top of the forehead, and down to the eyebrow. I recommend starting probably with, you could really start anywhere, but I'm going to start with forehead and then go into the eyes. Remember, you're trying not to lift your pencil. Should be one continuous line. And it really means you're not supposed to go over it all. I tend to go over it, so I kind of cheat a little bit. And back up to the other eye. I feel this is totally out of proportion. But we're not supposed to be worrying about that. I'm going to come back down. I should have gone eye to eye, then nose to mouth is probably the easiest way to go. back up the lens over here. Some of the hair on the side of the face, top of the head. I'm kind of doing a gesture drawing at the same time as doing this, because I'm looking at the way the hair flows and the different parts of the facial features. I'm just trying to capture the essence of that. One of the things that blind contour is good for is improving your hand-eye coordination. I'm just going to draw a square around it to kind of frame it a little bit, and that's it. I did pretty good. I didn't lift my pencil, and you can see the result is very cubistic and impressionistic. Pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with that compared to... Actually, I liked all the ones I did. I didn't like the first one I did at first, but this should be something you should really be having fun with, so it kind of frees you. It's just a fun exercise to do. So normally don't draw on the other side of your page, but I'm doing that because I didn't have another paper here. Now this is what I'm going to do now, which I did on the other video, but I'm doing it now in with my felt tip marker instead of the ballpoint pen. So I think it'll be a little bit darker and easier for you to see what I'm doing here. I can tape my drawing, my photograph. Might help if I put this a little bit higher up too. Now this one I'm allowed to look. This is going to be a modified contour. And I'm going to add gesture in here. That means you can look at paper about 20% of the time. And the rest you're going to be still looking at your model or photo. Okay, so here we go. I'm not going to close my eye. This time maybe I should, I don't know, then I keep opening my eye. That's going to be a pain in the rear. Alright, so we're going to start out with the eyes. I'm so used to doing this. My eyes closed now that I don't know how to do it the other way now anymore. Eyebrows, second eye, wow, this is coming out like a monster. I don't have room now. Correcting over that. I'm doing a lot of correcting here. Back down. The hand. Oops, I should never label a drawing until I'm done with the drawing. It's the hand, the lens. Mouth is way too big. there you have it. This came out a lot more expressionistic. It's not too bad. I prefer the other ones that I did with the ballpoint. And I'm getting a little tired now because I've done like 3 or 4 of these all in a row. Okay, so hopefully this will be a good angle. You can see the drawing a little bit better. I'll probably post both of these videos to show you doing with the 2 different media. These are things that you should be having fun with. And then our last, or our main project for this module is going to be to do an implied contour drawing of a still life setup. Okay, take care, have fun with this.